What's up everyone, and welcome to our channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. We really appreciate it. In today's video, I'm going to be going over my September TBR, and I'm sure for those of you who come here often, you recognize that Casey is missing from this video. So she is back in school, full swing, and we thought things would slow down a little bit, like a weekend of September or so, but she just has so much going on right now that she's just going to make sporadic appearances throughout now until when the school year is over with. So yeah, it'll be a one-man show for a little bit. Hope that's okay. So, I'm going to be talking about all the books I'm going to read in September. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you like what we do here. It means a lot. We really appreciate it. And you can give the video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. That also really helps us out a lot. So yeah, September is the month where we get closer to October. So I tried to pick out, I think I have like one horror, a few thrillers, one romance, and then I have 2 buddy reads going on Instagram in groups that I've set up. So if you would like to join one of those, the information on my Instagram is in the description box below. You can just shoot me a message and I can add you to the group if you're interested in either of the buddy reads. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into my September TBR. So, I've actually already finished 2 books this month. Again, we tried to give Casey a little bit of time to get ready for the video and stuff, but she's just not going to have that much time. So I've already actually finished 2 books that are not in this TBR but will be in my wrap-up at the end of the month, so stay tuned for that. And the book I started last night, which is my current read, I'm actually doing a reading vlog for, is Credence by Penelope Douglas. This book is a romance book. I was going to say it's dark romance, but I don't really know enough about it yet to know. I'm trying to read a bunch of really popular romance authors so that I can do like a tier ranking system or like just some other videos, and I've just really been in a romance mood recently, and these are supposed to be a little bit darker, Penelope Douglas is, so yeah. I'll tell you a little bit about what it's about. Basically, we follow our main character whose parents have just passed away, and she goes to move with her dad's stepbrother, who's quite a bit younger than her dad was before he passed, and his 2 sons. So she's going to live with them in Colorado, and I know on the back of the book she falls for one or more of them. I don't know. I know there's an age gap. I know this is really controversial, but one of the things I'm really looking forward to, and I'm only about 17 pages in, but it's already happened or has already been mentioned, is they work on dirt bikes and ATVs, and I grew up racing motocross. And so, yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how that's played out in this book. Yeah, so I'll be reading Credence by Penelope Douglas. Andy, please go. Okay, so the next book I have here is called The Drowning Kind by Jennifer McMahon. If the light is too bright, I apologize. I'm just trying to show you all the cover. See, isn't the cover nice? So you can find this book in the horror section at Barnes & Noble, but I think it has a little bit of a thriller aspect to it. So let me read you a little bit about what it's about. It says, "Be careful what you wish for. When social worker Jax," which that's kind of a thing for me because that's what I do for a living. I'm not an LCSW, which is a social worker, but I'm a different kind of licensed counselor. Well, I'm not licensed yet, but I'm 2 classes away from finishing my master's, and I work as a counselor now, so yeah. Anyways, it's basically what I do. So, when social worker Jax receives 9 missed calls from her older sister Lexi, she assumes it's just another one of her sister's episodes. Manny, I thought that was a name, but it says Manic. Manic and increasingly out of touch with reality, Lexi has pushed Jax away for over a year. But the next day, Lexi is dead, drowned in a pool at their grandmother's estate. When Jax arrives at the house to go through her sister's things, she learns that Lexi was researching the history of their family and the prophecy. She dives deeper into the research herself and discovers that the land holds a far darker past than she could have ever imagined. In 1929, 37-year-old newlywed Ethel Monroe hopes desperately for a baby. In an effort to distract her, Ethel's husband whisks her away on a trip to Vermont, where, and then it says continued on the back flap. I've never seen this, where something is continued on the back flap. So to the back flap we go. A natural spring is showcased by the newest and most modern hotel in Northeast. Once there, Ethel learns that the water is rumored to is rumored to grant wishes, never suspecting that the spring takes an equal measure to what it gives. A haunting, twisting, and compulsively readable thrill ride, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, all the praises for it. Yeah, so I'm really excited for this. It sounds really good, right up my alley, and it's September. It's time for some thrills and chills. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Okay, so the next book I have here, I have been wanting to read for so long, literally since I joined Bookstagram back in March. But I wanted to wait until we got closer to the release of the second one because I knew it would be coming out later in the year. It's actually coming out in October, so I feel like September is probably a good time to read it. And if I don't get to it this month, then I'll definitely get to it next month because I've pre-ordered the second one because everybody loves this book. But that is Kingdom of the Wicked. A bunch of you probably already know what this book is about, but for those who do not, I will read you what it's about. Oh, I've actually talked about this in a video before, so I do remember what this is about. Basically, it follows twins, and one of them either goes missing or... Oh yeah, they find the body of her sister, and she's devastated beyond belief, and she sets out to find her sister's killer and to seek vengeance at any cost, even if it means using dark magic that's been long forbidden. Then she meets Wrath, one of the wicked princes of hell. She has been warned against in tales since she was a child. His name is Wrath, and he claims to be on her side, tasked by his master in solving a series of women's murders on the island. But when it comes to the wicked, nothing is all that it seems. So it's basically like it's a YA fantasy. I think it's like enemies to lovers, Dark Prince of Hell, I don't really know, solving the murders, like what happened to her sister, I don't know. I know a lot of people really love this book, but I also know that a lot of people have DNF'd it, so I hope that doesn't happen. Yeah, I'll let you all know what I think when I get to it this month. Okay, this is a book that I talked about in my Book of the Month unboxing. If you're interested, I read the back of the book, so I'm not going to go into too much detail in this video. But next on my TBR for a thrill and chill, I guess it could be both, is Rock, Paper, Scissors. This has taken the reading community by storm right now. Before it actually released, it was already adapted for TV, and so it's going to be a show, I think, on HBO? I could be wrong. I don't know. It's going to be a show somewhere. Like, a producer of a really popular show... Oh, The Crown. The producer of The Crown has taken this on and is going to do it. But basically, we follow a married couple. Their marriage is falling apart, and they go on like a getaway to try to make their marriage better, or so it seems. And then one of them is like out to get the other one, but you don't know who. It's just like a nail-biting thriller is what it sounds like. One thing really interesting about this that interests me is I believe it's the male in the relationship. Yeah, he has face blindness, so that's going to be really interesting to read about because, as I said in my Book of the Month unboxing, I don't have face blindness, but I do struggle to recognize faces, like, not to the point that it could be diagnosed, but it is something that affects me on a daily basis. But yeah, so I'm interested to see how that plays out in this book. You should check it out. Everybody seems to be really wanting to read this right now, so I'm glad I got my copy through Book of the Month. Okay, so next up, I'm not actually sure if I'm going to get to this one this month. It just depends. I want to because it's Dark Academia, but I don't know if I'm actually going to. But I want to try, which is why I made it on my TBR or my hopefuls. Really, these are just hopefuls. But that is The Maidens, and this is by the author of The Silent Patient, which was also a really popular book that I have yet to read, mostly because as time went on and the book was out longer, I saw more and more mixed reviews, which I really shouldn't let dictate what I do, but I also think it's like involves a therapist, and I really don't like that trope in books. Like The Drowning Kind, the book I just read you, she's not going to like therapize anything, it just happens to be her day job. That I don't mind, but like when it's the trope of it being like someone going to counseling and something being weird with a therapist, I just don't like that trope, probably because I am a therapist and it feels weird. I don't know, I'm not a fan of it. Maybe if I found a really good one, then I would like it. You know, it's not off the table, but I don't know. Like, if you all watched my anti-TBR video, which I just bought the books that won the TBR, like what book I'm gonna read. Actually, I picked 2 from my anti-TBR. You can check that video out if you want, it'll be linked below. But when I went to buy that, this is a spoiler for that video, but one that I'm not gonna do is The House on the Cerulean Sea. because it really is about being a counselor, and I know that it's really good, and it's about kids who are misunderstood, and I get all that, and that's great, but I just do it day in and day out, and I don't really want to read about it. But anyways, never mind my tangent. The Maidens is the author of The Silent Patient's newest release, and it basically follows our main character. I don't know her name. Well, that's not her name. That's the name of the... Oh my gosh, of course, there's a therapist. Jeez. Okay. Edward is a murderer. Of this, Marina is certain. But Edward is untouchable. A handsome and charismatic Greek tragedy professor at Cambridge University, Fosca is adored by staff and students alike, particularly by the members of a secret society of female students known as the Maidens. Mariana, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, is a brilliant but troubled group therapist who becomes fixated on the Maidens when one member, a friend of Mariana's niece Zoe, is found murdered in Cambridge. So, reading the rest of the flap, it looks like she goes there to try to solve the murder, and when another body is found, Mariana's obsession with proving Fasha's guilt spirals out of control, threatening to destroy her credibility as well as her closest relationships. But Mariana is determined to stop this killer, even if it costs her everything, including her own life. So it doesn't sound like she's going there to be like their counselor or anything, and it doesn't sound like she's going to a counselor, so hopefully I like this. Yeah, you guys get the point. I'll let you know if I get to it. Yeah. Okay, and these next two books, both of them were on my Book of the Month unboxing, and I read the back of the book. It told you a little bit more about them than what I'm going to do here. If you want, again, that video will be linked below. And actually, I have 4 Book of the Month picks. Look at me go. In this video, I am trying to get through my Book of the Months, and this last month, September, was the best month ever with Book of the Month, so I actually want to get to them sooner rather than later. But the next book I have for you is Lisa Jewell's new book, The Night She Disappeared. I've never actually read a Lisa Jewell book. I've heard wonderful things about this. One of my good friends is a huge Lisa Jewell fan, and she told me I have to read this, so I'm going to read it. And it just sounds really good. For those of you who didn't watch the Book of the Month unboxing, I will try to summarize what this book is about. It's a beautiful summer night in a charming English suburb when Talia and Zach head out to a bar for the first time since the birth of their infant son. Just 19 years old, they've been looking forward to this night and a break from bottles and diapers. A party at the massive country estate, a new college friend, seems like the perfect way to unwind until morning comes and the two don't make it home. So basically that happens, and then I remember the rest of what happens because I'm really looking forward to this. Some years later, a writer, right, because it's always a writer or an author, goes to live in this town to do something, I don't know. Anyways, she's walking her dog and she finds a sign that says dig here. Like, dig here. And that kind of jumpstarts the mystery of this novel. Again, I actually don't want to know too much about this going into it because I'm really looking forward to it. And I think with thrillers, it's best to know as little as possible. And I know that, from what I know about Lisa Jewell, she writes kind of darker thrillers. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'll let you guys know what I think if I get to it this one. Hopefully I do. And my last Book of the Month pick that I plan to read this month has also taken the internet by storm, and that is The Love Hypothesis. Basically, we follow these two main characters who are scientists, and our main character, what is her name? Olive, I believe. She's a PhD candidate, and her friends have been on her about dating, and so she does what any rational person would do, and she kisses the first man she sees, which is this guy right here, who is like the laboratory's jerkhead. And she kisses him, and then I guess they fall in love somehow. That's not a spoiler, literally says it on the back of the book. But I think it's about their romance and their hate to love, and it's just supposed to be like a fun rom-com. I've never read anything that takes place in like a laboratory or is like a science type of book, which is something I'm definitely interested in. So everybody seems to really love it. It has like a 4.3 rating on Goodreads, so I'm really looking forward to this. I think it'll be a good break from some of the thrillers and deeper books that I have. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I'll let you guys know what I think. And then the last things I want to talk about are my, like I said at the start of the video, they're the group reads that I'm doing that I've started on Instagram. Again, my information is linked in the description box below. It is logans.goodreads. That is my name on Instagram. If you just send me a DM and you want to be added to the group, I would be happy to add you. The way it works for both of them, they're both series, and we're going to read one book a month, so you have all month to read it, and then we're going to discuss it at the end of the book. I think we talked about doing maybe a Zoom call for one of them at the end of the month where we can all get together and talk about it on Zoom, but I don't know how that's going to work out with everybody in different time zones, but we're thinking about trying to do that. So something to look forward to if you would like to join us. And also, I have read one of these series and not the other one. One of them's a reread, one isn't. So if you've already read these series, that's fine. You don't have to be a first-time reader or anything like that. But the first one I have here is the Percy Jackson series. As you can see, I have a bookmark because I have started this. I'm only like 15 pages in, so I've just started. I actually don't know how much I want to read this. Okay, I want to read it. I'm not a big fan of middle grade. I'm hoping this changes that a little bit, but I'm mostly reading it so I can read the ones when Percy is a little bit older. And I also want to read the Magnus Chase series, which I know you don't have to read this to read that series. So if all else fails and I hate this, I can still read Magnus Chase because I really think I'm going to like that series. But I have been in like a Greek mythology mood. I took a Greek mythology class in college. It was one of the hardest classes I ever took. Ridiculously difficult. Because I was so pressed to study so much to get an A, I don't even remember anything. It was just like strict memorization. So I want to get back in the game with some mythology and learn a little bit more about that again. And I also want to be a little bit more open-minded about middle grade. So yeah, the first one is the Percy Jackson series. Most of you know what this is about. It's basically about a kid, Percy, something about Greek mythology. I have no idea. Something about Camp Half-Blood that people love. Guys, I don't know. I'm going into this kind of blind, to be honest with you. But I know they fight, like, ancient monsters and stuff. Something. Okay, yeah. If you want to join us, let me know. And then for my reread is Vampire Academy. I have been waiting all year to do this, especially since the show was released. They've started filming, they've released cast, they've released where they're filming it. Like, the Academy looks so good. I'm so excited for the show. So in order to get ready for that, we started a group read of this. Again, it'll work the same way as Percy Jackson will work. This one's going to be a reread for me, like I said, and I will be annotating this. I got a bunch of supplies to get a little bit better at annotating and figure out my own system for it because I do like journaling so much. I'm not going to say too much about that right now because I have a whole video planned for that whenever my stuff gets here. But I'm going to annotate this time around because this, when everybody says, like, what's the book or the series that got you into reading? For me, it was Vampire Academy and also Nicholas Sparks. But we don't have to talk about Nicholas Sparks, okay? But it was also Vampire Academy. I love this book so much. To tell you a little bit about what it's about, you could look it up on Goodreads, but the gist of it is we follow Rose, and she goes to this academy. I feel like everything about this is a spoiler, actually. It's not actually. Go look it up on Goodreads. It's really good. It takes a different twist on vampires. I know everybody says that they're all the same, but it's really not. This actually takes more of a, like, historical approach, more of a mythological approach. It's very obvious that Rochelle Mead did research and stuff about Romanian history and things like that. So this is it's really good. If you're looking for something with vampires in it to read for the fall, then I would recommend Vampire Academy. It's much better than Twilight. Another book I want to get to this fall is Crave, so maybe I'll compare those if I do get to that this fall. But yeah, Vampire Academy, if you want to join us, just let me know. Those are all the books that I have on my hopeful TBR list. I have no idea how many of these I will get to, but I am trying to do some reading vlogs as well to kind of document more of my thoughts, and I have other systems in place so that I can bring you all more reviews and be able to give you all more thoughts rather than just getting up here and being like, yeah, I don't know, I liked the book, because that tends to happen to me. My mind just kind of goes blank. So I'm trying to get a better system in place so that I can give you all better thoughts, maybe do some spoiler things as well. Just let me know if you guys would be interested in that. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching this. I really appreciate it. Let me know down below if you've read any of these, if you want to read any of these, and then of course if you would like to join any of the group reads. I'll see you all in the next video.